The Man of Steel, the Big Blue Boy Scout, Kal-El, the last son of Krypton. No matter what you call him, Superman has been an enduring symbol of hope for generations. Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, and able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. How else would you describe this power other than godlike? But beyond his superhuman abilities, Superman stands for something much greater. Hope. The idea of an all-powerful being coming from another world to help those on Earth has been around since ancient times, with tales of the gods in several cultures such as Zeus, Thor, and Osiris. Although usually stories about gods end up in perverted and unconventional ballads that show how absolute power corrupts absolutely. This is what makes Superman unique. No matter the situation or circumstance, he's shown time and time again he was willing to die for a world that wasn't even his own. In this video, I'm going to explore the inspirational roots of Superman, how he was conceived as a sign of hope during a time of struggle, and why recent films have failed to capture the true essence of this iconic hero. In 1938, amid the depths of the Great Depression and increasing political unrest in Europe, two men from Cleveland, Ohio, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, had an idea that would bring optimism to the beleaguered people of America. They were about to unleash one of the most iconic characters ever created. Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster wanted their Superman to be a symbol of hope during an uncertain time, so they wrote about real issues that face everyday people. For instance, stories about Superman battling for justice for those affected by the catastrophic mine incidents in Athens, Ohio in 1930, and his uncompromising opposition to Hitler's anti-Semitism. As World War II loomed closer and global fear escalated, Superman became a much-needed light in a dark world, championing the rights of the oppressed, standing up against prejudice, and reminding us that even when things look their bleakest, there's still cause for optimism. Media today allows us to discover the darker side of Superman with contemporary interpretations like The Boys, Invincible, and Brightburn, presenting a look at what could have been if the Man of Steel had taken a turn for the worse. To borrow a line from Marvel, with great power comes great responsibility. And who could have greater power than Superman? Kal-El being raised by the Kents made him a true hero. The lessons they taught him and the morals they instilled are what makes Superman the ultimate icon of hope. Even in the darkest moments, he always finds a way to bring us back into the light. When I was in middle school, I had a science teacher named Mr. Burt. He was a Vietnam veteran and really enticed the conspiracy theorist inside of me as a young man. Even to this day, I remember some of the lessons he taught and the perspectives I gained from being a student. One day he asked the whole class, he asked a question, he said, "What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object?" He told us to come back the next day and we could take turns answering, and whoever got it right, well, they wouldn't have any homework that night. So naturally I spent all night pondering on what it could be, and the next day, when the time came, I was the first one to shoot my hand up. In my naivete, I was picturing like a bullet going through a wall type scenario, and so I answered. I said, when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, the unstoppable force makes a hole in the object. I sat down, big ass fucking grin on my face, thinking I just nailed it, right? Although, to my chagrin, I was incorrect. Nobody in the class had the right answer, so Mr. Burt finally conceded. It turned out it was a trick question. If there's an unstoppable force, there can't be an immovable object, because the two can't exist in the same reality. Trust the science, right? The same is true about life. There are no immovable objects in life that are going to take you down, but you can be that unstoppable force that fights against the odds and comes out on top. That's what Superman did. He didn't give up after facing a million obstacles. Instead, he kept pushing through whatever came his way. Now, in the real world, our weaknesses aren't glowing green rocks or white women named Lois, but our own pride and hubris. Superman's story is a reminder that all of us can be heroes in our own lives if we choose to, no matter what kind of adversity life throws our way. We just have to remember to stay humble and courageous, and most of all, have hope. So if you're feeling tight, overwhelmed, or just beat down by life, remember to be your own hero, because with great responsibility comes great power.
I am him, ultra instinct, bitch, I'm going super saiyan. I can't trust an Android, my iPhone been ringing. I might go and cop another one, make my way to the Europeans, baby. I'll be back next week, only getting better every season. Just say la vie to my old girl, okay, one more time then I'm leaving. Peace and deuces, truth is, I can't fuck with